But this is actually an older version of Xcode, and this actually builds using iOS 4.2, which again is older. But the good thing is that players who have, say, an iPhone 5 with running iOS 6, is they can still play these games. So it's not a major problem, and it might actually be a better way to do it. Because then you're able, if you are building for, say, an older device, say like iOS 4.2, it can still be played on the later devices. But if you're building for iOS 6.0, it might not be backwards compatible all the time. I've not actually tested that one so much, so don't take my word for it. I think give it a try and then see how you guys get on. All right, so install into my iPod. That's great, and we should see this pop up in a second. I actually got a couple of warnings here, but I don't think this is any major problem. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. It's usually if anything is red here, we have a problem. This also pops up all the time. You should have an RV7 architecture. It's never been a problem. You can add an RV7 architecture through Unity, but it actually increases the file size quite a lot, and I've not seen any problem so far. I've also not had any major reports of people not being able to play the game so much. It does happen sometimes. The player will download the game and it won't open. So anyway, there we go. So it's running. And I love this part. I love this part where it's built and it's actually on the device. I remember the first time that I actually did this, I was so excited. That was in February or March 2011. We're in 2012 now. So yeah, that was really exciting because I played it and I built it and then it was on the device. I was like, oh my god, this is great. I was really excited. So anyway, so the ads are appearing. That's great. Obviously, really important if you guys are making revenue through ads. So I'm going to click on play. I'll try and show you guys here. The sun is right in my eyes. So there you go. I'm slicing these guys. I just killed a bug, a ladybug. You're not supposed to hit the ladybugs. It pops up. There we go. It says you hit a ladybug, game over. It gives you a high score. You can post to Facebook to get 5 Bs. But we're going to play again, and it's going to take us to the shop scene. And I'm going to click on 5,000 Bs right here. The activity view appears, and I guess this is the moment of truth to see if it actually runs or not. This is usually the part where it gets a little bit where you can run into problems. But okay, so there you go, guys. It's popped up showing the in-app purchase confirmation. Confirm your in-app purchase. Do you want to get 5,000 Bs to get higher multipliers? Kill them flies, Ninja, for £10.49 since I'm running my accounts in the UK. So I'm going to click buy. It's coming up with the test user ID. I've not explained how to do test user IDs in this video. That's another video. But if you guys do want, as always, as I mentioned in these videos, if there's something that you want to see or something that you'd like me to explain in more detail, please let me know. Please drop a comment down below. I don't always reply to all the comments because time is kind of tight, but I always read the comments. I read every single comment, guys, because they come through to my email. So anything you see that you want to know, please drop a comment. So I'm just going to enter in my password here, which is what the user would do once the game is live. Click OK. It's just going through the. It's just checking now. It's got that activity view popping up, and hopefully this should be okay. We'll see how it goes. But in fact, no, it won't go okay. Okay, that's all right. What it's done is it's actually confirmed the in-app purchase, but we've not set it up so that so that once the player does buy something, they get some kind of confirmation or activity. In this case, 5,000 Bs, they should be upgraded and they should receive 5,000 Bs with a box popping up saying, hey, you got 5,000 Bs. So we've not done that yet, which is fine, but the in-app purchase actually works and it's gone through. Okay, so I'm going to stop the task here. I'm going to close that. I'm also going to close Xcode because sometimes when I rebuild and Xcode is open, it asks me to save to a file or something. I don't know what it does, so I always close Xcode when I'm rebuilding. So the next thing is, guys, we want to handle that event. What it is when a user clicks on buy 5,000 or buy something, goes to iTunes, it gets the data, the price, and so on. When the user confirms the purchase by entering their password, then what you do is iTunes will receive that information saying, great, we've now charged your account, and then it gets a call back to the game or the app saying that, hey, yes, they purchased it and they paid. Now give them their item, or give them their currency, or give them whatever it is they wanted to unlock. So we've got to do that here, and this is handled in the StoreKit event listener. So I'm going to double click on this, and this might look a little bit complicated to some beginners, but on the code side of things, this is really a sort of intermediate video. If anybody is, if any of you guys are out there, intermediate developers who want to know how something was done, or you want to add in app purchases, it's more targeted at you. On the beginner side, it's really just giving you an insight into the development process. So this is the Prime 31 StoreKit event listener script, and it's great. It's very, very useful. There's no Xcode involved here, no Objective-C. Purchase successful. This is the function that is called when iTunes confirms and says yes, they made the purchase, and then it sends a signal back to the device saying yes, purchase was successful, the account has been charged, and now unlock things. So as you can see here, we've got 100 bees. What we do is we set the integer bees to be plus 100. There we go. So player prefs, just so you guys know, that's permanent data. That's how you store permanent data. So if they turn the device off, and you want to remember they had 1,000,000 coins, we don't want, when they turn the device off, you don't want that to be forgotten. Of course, you want them to, when they come back into the game, to still have that 1,000,000 coins, not be reset back to 0. And player prefs is how you do that. So we're setting the integer, where the integer name is bees, and we want to get the number of bees that they currently have, and then add another 100. And then we show an alert to say, hey, purchase successful, you now have an extra 100 bees or 1,000 bees. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is, like I said before, being able to just copy and paste, being able to just copy and paste things and do quick updates is extremely useful. We've got 3 new in-app purchases here. Okay, and what we've got to do is label the product IDs. So if I go back to the shop scene, which is this one here, and get the 5,000 product ID. Okay, 5,000 product ID, and I'll explain this briefly in a moment, guys, just so you understand a little bit of what's going on. Even as another, say, experienced coder, this might look a little bit confusing when looking at other people's code. So what we're doing is basically, when this function is called, when iTunes says, yeah, they've made the purchase and things have gone well and we've charged their account, we receive a product identifier, which is just the name of the what we entered in iTunes before, which was this one here, like 100 bees, 1,000 bees, and so on. It will give you that information that says, okay, so if the product identifier is 100 bees, then do this. Give them the 100 bees and then give them a message. If the product identifier is 1,000 bees, do this. If it's 10,000, if it's 20,000, do this. Okay. So for 5,000, we want to add the 5,000 bees here. We want to add 10,000 if it's 10,000 bees, and we want to add 20,000 if it's 20,000 bees. I want to also give the message. So 5,000 bees, by the way, a quick way to do things, a little tip, is what I do is I double-click text to highlight it quickly. I don't scroll like this because it can be a little bit slower. I double-click like that, and it highlights it, and then I click Command and V, and then Command and V to paste, or Control and V and Control and V to paste, as I'm sure you guys are aware now. Double-click on it to highlight it, and then paste it in. And that will hopefully save you guys some time as well. Highlighting a line, by the way, is triple click, and that also makes things a lot faster. Alright, so I think we're good. We've got 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 10,000 bees, product ID, 10,000, 10,000, 20,000 bees, 20,000, 20,000, and we're just going to go down the line. And then what happens here is it actually updates the bees text in the game. That is this one here on the this one here, this is the bees text. It shows you how much, like, say, that's the coins, how many coins you have, bee coins, if you want to call it that. Update the bees text. So I think we're pretty good. The star here means that it's not been saved yet, this file. I'm just going to click on File and Save. Go back into Unity. On the bottom right, we should see the indicator here, which says that things are happening. It's compiling, it's checking the scripts for any errors, and we should be good to go. I'm actually going to turn on my device now, and I'm going to remove the previous version that I just had on there, and it's just so we're starting from scratch. I don't really need to do this, but I do prefer starting from scratch to see what a clean install does. As always, clicking File, Save Scene, and save the project. Hitting Command and B or Control and B on a PC, and then we're going to build this to iPhone onto Xcode now, and then deploy it onto the iPhone or iPod. So this should take a few seconds, guys. And hopefully on your side it's a little bit faster. The project itself is quite small. Superbug Killer is not a large game at all. It's very, very small. It's very, very simple. You know, I'm hoping to excuse me, any game that tends to be quite sticky in terms of, like, users really like it, players have to give a lot of ratings, a lot of stars, and the game generally does well in terms of revenue. And then that's the game that we'll focus on and continue to update and add things to. A lot of the games generally are they don't make a huge amount of revenue, so it's important for us to make a lot of games. And so you know, but if one game does tend to be quite sticky and works well, then I encourage you guys to update it. You know, a lot of developers might not agree with that sort of business model. Well, maybe not agree. Maybe I think a lot of developers perhaps would much prefer to make something that's a lot more fleshed out, is highly polished, has a lot of features. But what we've found, you know, as a very small developer who say doesn't have a huge marketing budget, the business model does have to change. What I found is that actually having structures to the game, a structured game, like all of our games do. They're single scene games. The basic flow is menu, game, post game screen, and then back again with ads and with an in-app purchase. Kind of fast, so that that we can get them into the market, players enjoy them, and then it can make revenue, and we'll move on to the next game, and make that pretty fast. That's usually the way it goes. You know, gone are the early days of iPhone or Android development, whereby you could make a game which is fairly good, put it into the market, and then it would actually do really well, just because there's not that much competition. I believe iPhone recently now has 600,000 applications, and Google Play has 500,000 applications. So it's extremely competitive, both in terms of quality and visibility as well. It's very, 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 very difficult to get your game viewed and seen. So the challenge really is, one, I think, is business model, and two is marketing and visibility. It's not so much the game. Which would really make the difference between, say, success and not success, or even just maintaining a stable business. So you know, I think if anybody would like me to elaborate on those points, you know, I also do sort of business discussion videos as well, and share what we found in our development and our publishing of games. You know, if there's anything particular that you guys would like me to discuss, then, you know, again, always let me know, drop a comment, and then I'll try to do that for you guys. Okay, so there we go. We're building now onto the iPod. We've got the powered by Unity loading screen coming up. All right, there we go, logo scene, and I'm going to try and keep this close, and I'm going to try and use the reflection so that I can see what I'm doing. Click on play. Yeah, that works. I think I just hit a B. I hit a ladybug. Okay. I'm going to click play again. We're in the menu screen now. I'm clicking on 5,000 bees. I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see. And I can sort of see through the reflection here. So, alright, confirm your in-app purchase. Do you want to buy one, get 5,000 bees to get higher multipliers, kill them flies, ninja? Super ninja. I've just clicked on buy. And okay, so you've already purchased this, but it hasn't been downloaded. So when I first did the game just a moment ago, I had already purchased this. So it's repurchasing it now, which is correct. So you've already purchased that, but it hasn't been downloaded. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm clicking on OK. Okay, so purchase successful. You now have 5,000 extra bees, and if you notice in the top, it's got 0. That should change to 5,000, and there you go. Sorry. 5,000, there you go. Now, a purchase cancelled thing popped up a couple of times there, and I'm going to have to figure out why that happened. But I'm going to click on get 10,000 bees now. Alright, so I've just tapped on that. It's turning away. Confirm your in-app purchase. Do you want to buy one, get 10,000 bees to be the ultimate slice bug ninja master? Ugh. Yes, I do, with a description like that. Of course I do. Alright, so purchase successful. You now have 10,000 extra bees. That 5,000 should change to 10,000. Sorry, 15,000. There you go. So that's right. And then we're going to try the 20,000. Okay, so do you want to buy one, get 20,000 bees, and be the top ultimate ninja master with a world? But it doesn't. It actually cuts off there. I'm going to click buy. Purchase successful. You now have 20,000 extra bees, and we should see 35,000 bees. There we go. That's a lot of bees. Okay, so that is working successfully. Now, one of the things that we actually have, guys, is just to illustrate this in the game, is we have if you get the next grade, I can't actually see, the sun is in my eyes. You tap on that button, you can see that your multiplier grade increases there. So I'm now at 24, 25, 26, 27. That's this text here, okay. And as you can see, the currency goes down. So I'm checking that currency is going down. 48.45, 48.40, 48.35, blah 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 blah, and it goes down, 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 down. Now the problem is that the player, if they do purchase this 20,000 bees, they're going to have to tap a lot to get that next grade. And you could double tap like this, but really, I mean, it's not the best way. I'd rather have somebody hold it down, and then it automatically sort of runs through them as quick as possible. So, okay, so we're now on grade 90. If I click next, you can see the score multiplier at the bottom there. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's a score multiplier 90, and you can see the score goes up super high, super fast. And hopefully what that is basically the score multiplier is a way to bring players back in and keep sort of pushing for a higher and higher score. We found that works well with games like Temple Run Training, which has a score multiplier, and each time you play, it unlocks a higher score multiplier. So players think that they're getting better, but I don't think a lot of them realise that it's because the score multiplier is increasing. Maybe they're not actually getting a higher score because they're improving. Anyway, there's just a game design note there. I'm just going to increase my grade to 100. My top score is 98.10. I'm just going to click play. I'm not going to slice any flies. I'm just going to let one go past. There you go, and it got 10,000. It got 10,900 without even doing anything. So we know that the score multiplier is working. I'm also just going to do a quick test here, guys. Since I'm on the device, I'm going to post to Facebook. And what that does is it actually shows the Facebook login here. What that does is it allows games to post scores to Facebook. And what we do in our games is if somebody posts, say, just does any post to Facebook on their Facebook wall, then they will receive 5 bees or some coin or some kind of unlockable. And it's a great way to make the game viral amongst friends and to sort of spread the word virally, like automatic marketing in the game. So I'm going to click OK. I've authorized this application to post on my behalf. and it'll come back to the game. It should pop up in a second saying that, hey, you've just posted to your wall. You posted to wall, you just got 5 bees. There you go. And I've previously done this one before, so this is why it's already working, which is great. So that's what I was saying about always sort of copying previous projects if you want to have the same style of game, and so you don't have to do a lot of rework, which obviously takes a lot of time if you're starting from a fresh project. Always reuse code, always. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to... I think what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to pause the video a little bit, and I will come back real soon, and we're going to move on to the next part of updating Super Bug Killer. I hope everyone's having some learning something so far, and I will catch up with you in the next part. Bye bye.